The silk of my wedding dress feels like a second skin. It's a custom-made ivory masterpiece, the kind of dress I've dreamed about since I was a little girl hiding in my mother's closet. Today is supposed to be the best day of my life. I look in the mirror and see a bride. But when I look into my sister's eyes, I see a predator. Alara is standing behind me, smoothing the lace on my train. She's my only sister, my maid of honor, and supposedly my best friend. We've shared everything: secrets, clothes, even our first apartment. I trusted her with my life. "You look adequate, Maya," she whispers. Her voice is like honey poured over broken glass. I laugh, thinking she's joking. "Just adequate. I spent 6 months on this design. Alara, it's just so white," she says, her eyes trailing down my silhouette. "A bit traditional for someone like you, don't you think?" I brush it off. Alara has always been the bold one, the one who needs the spotlight. I'm the stable one, the one who worked 2 jobs to put her through design school. I'm the one who finally found a man like Julian, kind, successful, and utterly devoted to me. Julian is everything. He's the reason I've spent $50,000 on this ceremony. Every flower, every guest, every candle has been hand-selected to create the perfect illusion of a perfect life. "Where's your dress?" I ask, realizing she's still in her silk robe. "Oh, it's coming," she says, a strange smirk playing on her lips. I wanted to make sure it was perfect. You know how I am about entrances. A cold shiver runs down my spine. I ignore it. This is my sister. My blood. She wouldn't do anything to ruin this day. Then, I see the garment bag hanging in the corner. It's heavy. It's massive. And it's definitely not the pale lavender dress we picked out for the bridesmaids. "Alara, what is that?" I point to the bag. She doesn't blink. She just smiles. And for the first time, I notice how sharp her teeth look. "It's my masterpiece, Maya. Since you're the one getting married, I thought I'd finally show the family what I'm capable of." That was the moment everything changed. The air in the bridal suite suddenly feels thin. I reach for the zipper of her garment bag, my hand trembling. Alara doesn't stop me. She stands there, arms crossed, watching me with a terrifying sense of triumph. I pull the zipper down. White, pure, blinding, bridal white. It isn't just a white dress. It's a gown. It's covered in hand-stitched crystals, featuring a plunging neckline and a train that rivals my own. It is, by every definition of the word, a wedding dress. "You can't wear this," I whisper. My heart is hammering against my ribs. "Alara, this is my wedding. You're the maid of honor. You're supposed to wear the lavender." She laughs, a sharp, barking sound that echoes off the marble walls. "Lavender? That color makes me look washed out, Maya. Besides, why should you be the only one who looks like a queen today?" "Because I'm the bride." I shout. "It's my day." "Is it?" she asks, stepping closer. "Or is it just another day where you try to pretend you're better than me? You have the career. You have the house. And now you have Julian." The way she says his name makes my blood run cold. There's a familiarity in it. A hunger. "Don't bring Julian into this." I snap. "Oh, honey," she says, patting my cheek. "Julian is already in it. Who do you think paid for the fabric of this dress? Who do you think told me I'd look divine in this shade?" I feel like I've been punched in the stomach. Julian? My Julian? He would never. He knows how much this day means to me. He knows about Alara's constant need to upstage me. "You're lying," I say, though my voice lacks conviction. "Check his bank statements, Maya, or better yet, check his phone. He's in Groom in your contacts, right? Check the messages from the designer." I scramble for my phone, my hands shaking so hard I almost drop it. I find Julian's phone on the vanity. He'd left it there to charge while he went to greet the early guests. I know his passcode. It's our anniversary. I open the messages. There it is. A thread with a contact named the designer. The lace arrived. It's perfect. She won't see it coming. Ilara had texted. Good. Julian replied. You deserve to shine too, Ilara. I'm tired of her always being the center of attention. See you at the altar. The world tilts on its axis. I felt invisible. Not just today, but for the last 3 years. Every compliment Julian gave me, every I love you, feels like a lie designed to keep me quiet while he built a life with my sister behind my back. They weren't just planning a dress. They were planning a takeover. Why? I choke out. Because you're boring, Maya, Ilara says, already unzipping her robe. You're the safe choice. But Julian, he wants fire. He wants me. We're going to give the guests a show they'll never forget. She steps into the white gown. She looks like a bride. She looks like she's about to walk down the aisle and take my life from me. And the worst part, my mother walks in, looks at Ilara in her white gown, and then looks at me. She doesn't gasp. She doesn't scream. She smiles. Oh, Ilara, you look stunning. Maya, don't be jealous. There's enough room for both of you to be beautiful. I stand there, a ghost in my own bridal suite. My mother is adjusting Ilara's veil. Yes, she has a veil, while I am treated like an inconvenient piece of furniture. Mom, she's wearing white. I say, my voice cracking. She's wearing a wedding dress to my wedding. Don't be dramatic, Maya, my mother says without looking at me. It's a family celebration. Ilara has had a hard year. Let her have this. It makes the photos look more balanced. Balanced. My betrayal is being framed as a design choice. I look at the two women who are supposed to love me most. They are glowing, huddled together, whispering about how surprised Julian will be. They aren't even hiding it anymore. They think I'm weak. They think I'm the same little girl who used to give up her toys just to keep the peace. I trusted them. I gave Ilara a job at my firm. I paid for my mother's mortgage. I gave Julian my heart and my future. And in return, they are turning my wedding into a public humiliation. I walk out of the suite. I need air. I need to scream. I find myself in the hallway of the venue, a converted cathedral with long, echoing corridors. I see Julian at the end of the hall, talking to the officiant. He looks handsome. He looks perfect. He sees me and smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. It's the smile of a man who has already moved on. Hey, babe, he says, walking over. Everything okay? Ilara said you were having a bit of a meltdown over the flowers. The flowers? I ask, is that what we're calling it? Look, I know you're stressed, he says, reaching for my hand. I flinch away, but let's just get through the ceremony. It's going to be a big day for the whole family. A big day for Ilara, you mean? His expression hardens. The mask slips. She's your sister, Maya. Why can't you just be happy for her, for once? She's always been in your shadow. Today, she just wants to stand in the light. By standing on my neck. If that's how you want to see it, he says, checking his watch. The guests are seated. My parents are here. The investors from the firm are here. Don't make a scene. You know how much this merger depends on our stable image. That's when I realize this isn't just an affair. It's a business transaction. Julian doesn't want me. He wants my share of the company. And he wants Ilara as the trophy on his arm once the ink is dry. They think I wouldn't fight back. They think I'm too concerned with appearances to burn the house down while I'm inside it. I feel a cold, hard knot form in my chest. The tears stop. The trembling ends. You're right, Julian. I say, my voice steady. I shouldn't make a scene. The guests are waiting. We should give them exactly what they paid to see. He looks relieved. He actually thinks he's won. That's my girl. See you at the altar. I watch him walk away. I look at the guest list sitting on the coordinator's podium. I see the names, his parents, the investors, the socialites, my family. They are all here to witness my downfall. Well, I've always been a good hostess. It's time to change the program. I retreat to a small, private office near the back of the venue. My mind is racing. I have 30 minutes before the processional begins. I open my laptop. If Julian and Alara have been planning this, there's a paper trail. I still have access to the shared cloud drive we used for wedding planning. I start digging. It's worse than I thought. There's a folder labeled Phase 2. Inside are digital copies of a prenuptial agreement I never signed, with my signature forged at the bottom. There are transfer papers for my shares in the family business, dated for tomorrow. And then I find the video. It's a screen recording of a Zoom call between Julian, Alara, and my mother. Once the ceremony is over, Julian says in the video, "We announced the surprise partnership. Maya will be too overwhelmed to protest in front of the press. By the time she realizes she's been ousted from the board, the shares will already be moved." "And the dress?" Alara asks, giggling. "The dress is the signal." My mother's voice rings out. "When you walk out in white, the photographer knows to focus the main shots on you too. Maya will just be background." I sit in the dark office, the blue light of the screen illuminating the wreckage of my life. They weren't just stealing my wedding. They were stealing my life's work. My mother was in on it for the money, Alara for the ego, Julian for the power. I felt invisible, but now I see everything with terrifying clarity. They think they have the guest list under control. They invited the press, the board members, and Julian's high society friends to witness my quiet transition into obscurity. I look at the digital guest list. I have the master admin password. I start typing. First, I send a mass text to the caterers and the florist. Change of plans. Next, I look at the seating chart. Julian's parents, the ultra-conservative, old money types who value reputation above all else, are in the front row. The investors are in the second. I pull up a different contact list. A list of people Julian and Alara thought they'd left in the past. I call Sarah, Julian's ex-wife, who he told me died in a car accident. She's very much alive, and she's been looking for him for 2 years regarding unpaid child support. I call the lead investigator for the SEC. I've been holding on to some discrepancies in Julian's firm's books out of loyalty. Loyalty is a dead language to me now. Finally, I call the local news tip line. "I have a story for you," I say, my voice like ice. "A high society wedding with a forged prenup, a secret affair, and a corporate takeover. If you want the exclusive, get your cameras to the St. Jude Cathedral in 20 minutes. I look at the mirror. I don't see a victim anymore. I see a strategist. I pick up a pair of fabric shears from the coordinator's desk. I look at my beautiful, ivory, $20,000 dress. I start cutting. I don't need to be a bride today. I need to be a witness. The ceremony is set to begin. The music, a soft, romantic string quartet, starts to play. I am tucked away in the shadows behind the altar's heavy velvet curtains. I've changed. I'm no longer wearing the white gown. I'm wearing a sleek, sharp black suit I had intended to wear to the rehearsal dinner. I look like I'm going to a funeral. And in a way, I am. The processional begins. My mother walks down first, beaming at the crowd. She takes her seat, looking like the cat who swallowed the canary. Then comes the surprise. Instead of the bridesmaids in lavender, Alara emerges. She is wearing the white gown. The crystals catch the light, blinding the front row. The room gasps. A murmur ripples through the crowd. Is that the sister? Why is she wearing white? She looks like the bride. Alara is basking in it. She's walking slowly, regally, holding a bouquet of white lilies. She reaches the altar and stands next to Julian. He takes her hand and kisses it. The guests are confused, but the press, the ones Julian invited, are snapping photos like crazy. This is the modern, bold family image Julian wanted to project. The officiant looks nervous. He looks toward the back of the room for me. Where is the bride? Someone whispers. That's my cue. I don't walk down the aisle. I walk out from behind the curtain, straight to the microphone at the pulpit. The music stops abruptly. The quartet looks at me, then at the black suit, then at the scissors still tucked into my waistband. Hi, everyone, I say. My voice is projected through the entire cathedral. Julian's face goes pale. Ilara drops her bouquet. I know you were all expecting a wedding, I say, leaning into the mic, but as you can see, my sister Ilara decided she wanted to be the bride today. And my fiancé, Julian, decided he wanted a new business partner. Maya, get down from there. Julian hisses, trying to step toward me. Stay right there, Julian. I say, I've made some last-minute adjustments to the guest list. I felt it was important for everyone here to have the full context of this union. I signal the tech booth. I spent 10 minutes and $500 bribing the AV guy to swap the wedding montage for a different video. The giant screens on either side of the altar flicker to life. It's not photos of our childhood. It's the Zoom recording. The entire room watches as Julian discusses forging my signature. They hear my mother talk about making me background. They hear Ilara laugh about how boring I am. The silence in the room is deafening. It's the kind of silence that precedes a landslide. And since we're talking about honesty, I continue. I'd like to introduce a few late additions to the guest list. The heavy oak doors at the back of the cathedral swing open. The first person to walk down the aisle isn't a guest. It's Sarah. She's holding a toddler by the hand. A little boy who looks exactly like a miniature version of Julian. Julian, she calls out, her voice echoing off the vaulted ceiling. The court server said, I could find you here. You're 3 months behind on support, and I think your fiancé should know about your other 2 business ventures in Seattle. The high society guests are now standing up, craning their necks. Julian's parents look like they've been turned to stone. His father, the man whose investment Julian needs to stay afloat, is looking at the screen where the forged prenup is being highlighted in red. But I'm not done. And for the board members of our firm, I say, looking directly at the second row, you'll find a PDF in your inboxes right now. It contains the evidence of the $2.4 million Julian has been diverting to Ilara's shell company for her fashion line. Ilara screams. It's a raw, ugly sound. You bitch. You're ruining everything. She lunges at me, her white gown trailing behind her like a shroud. She looks like a banshee, but she trips on the massive train, the one she insisted on having to outshine me. She falls flat on her face in the middle of the aisle, the crystals on her dress shattering against the stone floor. I don't move. I don't help her. You wore white, Ilara, I say, looking down at her. You wanted to be the center of attention. Are you enjoying the view? The doors open again. This time, it's the SEC investigators and the police. Julian Vance, the lead officer, calls out. We have a warrant for your arrest regarding corporate fraud and identity theft. The room erupts into chaos. Julian tries to run toward the vestry, but he's blocked by his own father. Don't bother, the old man says, his voice booming. You're done. And Maya, you're the only one in this family with a shred of integrity. Consider my shares yours. My mother is sobbing now, reaching for my hand. Maya, please, we can talk about this. It was just a plan to keep the money in the family. Which family, Mom? I ask, pulling away, because I don't see one here. The press is in a frenzy. Flashbulbs are exploding. Ilara is being helped up by a security guard, her masterpiece dress torn and stained with floor wax. Julian is being handcuffed in front of the altar where he planned to betray me. I stand at the pulpit, looking out at the wreckage. I don't feel sad. I don't feel like a victim. I feel light. I look at the camera of the lead news reporter, who is live streaming the whole thing. The wedding is canceled, I say to the camera, but the celebration is just beginning. I walk down the steps of the altar. I walk past my sobbing mother. I walk past my sister, who is clutching her ruined white dress. I walk past the man I thought I loved. I walk out of the cathedral and into the sunlight. 6 months later, I'm sitting in my new office. It's smaller, but the name on the door belongs to me and me alone. No partners. No family baggage. Julian is currently awaiting trial. His assets were frozen, and his parents have completely disowned him. From what I hear, he's trying to sell his story to a tabloid, but nobody is buying. He's yesterday's news. Ilara's fashion line, folded before it even launched. Turns out, when you're caught on camera admitting to corporate theft, people don't really want to wear your clothes. She's living in a studio apartment, working as a retail clerk. She sent me an email last week begging for a loan. I marked it as spam. My mother calls occasionally, leaving long, rambling voicemails about forgiveness and how blood is thicker than water. I haven't called her back. Blood might be thick, but it's also very easy to drown in. I'm wearing a simple blue dress today. No lace, no crystals, no hidden meanings. I lost a fiancé, a sister, and a mother in a single afternoon. I lost $50,000 on a party that turned into a police raid. I lost the perfect life I thought I had built. But as I look at the sunset from my balcony, I realize I didn't actually lose anything that was real. I was surrounded by people who saw me as a bank account or a stepping stone. By removing them, I finally gave myself room to breathe. The silence in my apartment isn't lonely. It's peaceful. I pick up my phone and see a news notification. Former socialite Ilara Vance spotted working at discount outlet. I smile and turn off the screen. I don't need to keep track of their karma anymore. I have my own life to live. I realized that day at the cathedral that some people only love you as long as you're useful. The moment you stand up for yourself, you become the villain in their story. And that's okay. I'd rather be the villain in their story than a background character in my own. I've learned that the most expensive thing about my wedding wasn't the dress or the venue. It was the realization that I was worth more than the people I was surrounding myself with. Sometimes losing your family is the price of finding yourself.